Heather, I have a question for you.
I don't like this.
What don't you like about it?
Sure, B. Hit me. It just makes me nervous.
Can I ask you questions?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you were stuck on a deserted island with only one bottle of 1792 in their offerings, which bottle would you pick?
Okay, why are we assuming that I am stranded on a deserted island again? This happens fairly often.
Well, I mean, it's vacation and things happen. Just think about it as Bourbon Survivor, okay? Which one would you take?
Okay. But I can't answer that yet because we have only done part 1 of 1792, which means we haven't tasted these 3 yet.
So that's a great lead-in. Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So today on Tortured Bourbon, you know what we're going to do? We're
Drink
going to
bourbon?
take we are. These 3 contenders from 1792's lineup. The Single Barrel, the Sweet Wheat, and the 12-year. 3 bourbons, 3 completely different profiles. Only one can be our favorite. Or maybe there'll be multiple winners because there are no rules. Who knows?
Sorry to say, this is our show.
It's our show.
If we want to have more than one favorite, we can have more than one favorite.
Right. So what's up, Heather?
What's up, B? So today we are diving into another round of our Barton 1792 series. If you want to see part 1, click here. That's where we explored the history of the distillery, its acquisition by, shocker, Sazerac, and we tasted 4 of the offerings that they have.
Yep, and if you want to see that episode, you just click that link right above Heather's head, like the halo that exists there.
Or horns.
Closer.
If this is your, hey, you didn't have to agree. If this is your first time with us, welcome. We're so glad you're here. We are all about bad puns and B's ever-advancing age. And
This is about bourbon. It's about our journey in bourbon. It doesn't always have to be about the fact that I'm getting older. There is no alternative. I'm going to get older. You are going to get older. It's okay.
We'll talk about that later.
All right.
If you're new here, be sure you click like and subscribe. We have started releasing 3 episodes a week because I don't think we need sleep and I want to make all of you happy.
Our resident millennial wants you to be happy.
I do.
Now, to make her happy, you have to follow us on all these socials that are now appearing on the bottom of your screen. That would be X, Insta, and Facebook. She'd like to have a chat with you so she can share outfit ideas.
Because that's definitely what I'm here for, bourbon and fashion.
If you go watch our first several episodes, it's exactly what you were here for.
Yeah, before you made me start wearing the same thing every week.
But these are great.
They are comfortable, y'all. Seriously.
And the order link is down there in the description.
It's right there. Shameless plug. They're really comfortable.
They are.
Long sleeve tees are probably my favorite, though.
Yeah, the hoodies are...
Yeah. They're comfy.
so comfy.
I will spare you the rest of that, B. What do we have first?
So like we said, we're jumping right into the bourbon. So the first thing we're doing is 1792 Single Barrel. This is the bourbon for people who want to believe every bottle is a unique experience because all the bourbon came from one barrel.
Right, and means there's no consistency because every barrel is different. It's like 90s alternative rock bands. Some of them pumping out the classics. Some of them should have stayed in their garages.
Not true. Not true at all.
It's a little true.
I'm glad they all came out of the garage.
It's a little true.
There's only one band from that era that I wish would have stayed in the garage, and it was Silverchair. And the plane should have crashed on their way from Australia. Now, this one is bottled at exactly 98.6 proof, which weirdly is body temperature.
So if I drink enough of it, I'm going to feel totally normal, right?
Science says yes.
I don't think that you can drink enough to be normal.
Probably not. That escaped me years ago. So this comes in around $45 to $50, and according to the distillery, we should get rich butterscotch, caramel on the nose, hints of vanilla and spice, and a palate that brings bold oak, fruit, and baking spices with a long, complex finish.
All right, let's check that out. It always has a caramel smell.
It does.
A little vanilla, the butterscotch, the little bit of spice.
It has a great nose.
It has a great nose.
Even the 1792 small batch
Has a great.
that we don't love the taste. It's okay. It's a little underwhelming. The nose is fantastic.
Agreed. Let's see about the taste on this one.
Yep. much better than the 1792 small batch,
I
which is strange,
agree.
right? Because they blend to get that. Mm-hmm. Whereas this is a single barrel.
This packs a little bit more of a punch.
Yeah.
I definitely get the oak for sure. But I absolutely get a finish that brings out some fruit and some baking spice.
Yeah. When you say fruit, what type of fruit?
Not citrus.
Okay. So I should be looking for darker. Mm-hmm. Yep.
But it's
the baking
almost,
spice is there, and then there's a hint of pepper on the end.
hint of pepper, absolutely. Baking spices. And the fruit, though, is almost a little bit of a berry.
Okay. Okay.
It's a little sweeter than like your dark stone fruits like your cherries or your plums, but it's not citrusy at all. I really enjoy that.
Oh, yeah. So, spoiler alert, once we get past the small batch, we really like 1792.
Mm-hmm. And this is one, I had never even heard of it before we started the show, full disclosure. And now I'm a big fan.
And the bottle looks like we're in King Louis's
It's very Regency.
French chateau.
You mention that every time. Yeah. It's very Regency.
Interesting that their marketing on their website is Art Deco, Great Gatsby. Mm-hmm. They even have, and they've let it fall off, but they have a fashion link on their website about 1792 fashion and clothing. Now, they have not updated that in a while. Do better. I mean, either take that down or update it.
You gotta go all in, or you gotta pull it.
You're not a little distillery in Kentucky. You're Sazerac. So get that straight. So
Get it together.
But they definitely were packaging something. And I know, we've already, in the last episode, we talked about the issue with the lawsuit with Woodford. Mm-hmm. Their packaging.
Yeah, that bottle should look a little bit familiar.
Yeah, that packaging, they're on the money.
Oh, it's regal.
And I think Angel's Envy does packaging that way in terms of sending a certain message. Mm-hmm. This is sending a certain message. It stands out. It stands out in the.
Well, we've talked before how I'm a sucker for good packaging. And I am starting to pick up more and more because you're really good at pointing that out, how some distilleries will utilize packaging to really push. They use it as a tool of their marketing to send a message. So this one is absolutely sending a specific message. We've talked before. You mentioned the last time we had Bakers. They have a very industrial vibe. Bardstown, to me, really embraces that grain to glass, full transparency. So everything on their bottles, you just see the etching of the tree.
Yep. Clean.
It's very clean.
Very clean.
Very earth-friendly.
We're scientific in our approach to bourbon.
Right. And so I think it's cool how sometimes that places, and like Michter's, it looks like they might have drank it at Valley Forge. Like it's a very old school colonial labeling.
Yeah, I heard an excellent podcast this week, and it was the guys who do Horse Soldier. Mm-hmm. And that's made up of the guys who started that distillery are former, I don't know that they're all SEALs, but they're all special operators from the Afghani war. Mm-hmm. In fact, in theory, the movie 12 Soldiers is based on some of them.
Wow.
That's all in there. But he talks about, in the business, you have the bourbon side, mm-hmm. which is the tradition and the mash bill, and you get into the bourbon, and then you have the business side. He said, and there's two different worlds there.
Absolutely.
They sell the bourbon side. Mm-hmm. They're in the business side, mm-hmm. which I find very interesting, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they have a story, obviously.
Right.
Same thing here. There's a bourbon side to this, then there's a business side.
Mm-hmm. And when you kind of strike gold at marrying the two is when you tend to have a lot of success. Yeah. Anyway, after that nice tangent, what do you want to rank this one?
It's hard.
Mm-hmm. It's a hush your mouth for me. I'm going to spoiler alert that.
I'll second that emotion.
Sweet emotion.
Oh, that's foreshadowing.
Mm-hmm. I did that on purpose.
So, this is, spoiler alert, we love this bad boy.
We do.
It's the nice guy in the lineup. It is the equivalent of the gentleman who holds the door for you and he never forgets how you take your coffee.
Well, that sounds lovely.
It's just like me.
Identical.
Identical.
When I think Sweet Wheat, I think B every time. crazy.
I'm a lot of things.
You are a gentleman.
Thank you.
You are. I'll give you that.
You
So
should do your honor in all things.
is that a Boy Scout thing?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, well,
Yeah.
it is, but that quote is not. But keep going.
Anyway, this one is bottled at 91.2 proof, so it's not super high. MSRP is around 50 to 60, but we're going to laugh now because you're not going to find it.
I paid $80 for this bottle, and I thought I had a steal.
Well, he also slightly risked his life to get it. So
Come on.
it was just a little Facebook Marketplace action. It's fine. Everybody,
We got the bottle.
we got the bottle. You're still here. Everything's good.
It was worth
So-
the risk.
Spoiler alert: we have had this one before.
Oh, yeah.
It was included in our Sweet Wheat episode. Click
That
right
is
there.
a fantastic episode.
It is,
It really is.
and
We're
it-
not just saying that for the clicks. It's really good.
In all seriousness, if you're a person who articulates their preferences in bourbon as sweet, check that episode out. You're going to find 4 bourbons that will be your go-tos.
And we are going to do a wheated bourbon blind put up by my lovely Thunder from
It's going
Down
to be
Under,
Aussie
Aussie Rules.
number 3.
That's right. She's going to knock us out with that.
But for now, with this, we are going to get honey, vanilla, and caramel on the nose.
We are.
We are. We absolutely are. And then that's going to lead into a palette of warm butterscotch, toasted nuts, and soft oak, which just sounds amazing. It smells like a cookie. It smells like a cookie. What kind of cookie? It smells like a cookie. I have 2 cookies in mind.
One's a snickerdoodle.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking about.
One's a snickerdoodle.
Oh, I'm so proud.
And there's a little nutter butter, too.
Yeah.
There's a little nutter
There's
butter.
a little nutter butter. Snickerdoodle was the first one I thought of.
Yeah, it's more snickerdoodle than nutter butter.
Yeah.
But there is a little nutter butter. And I mean,
It's
they're
underlying.
not going to tell us their mash bill. They're not going to tell us how long it was aged. So let's keep that a secret because we're all going to run out and be able
Because
to make
heaven
Sweet
forbid.
Wheat.
Anyway. It's so, and you know, the more you smell it, the more is the end of the nose is where I get the nutter butter. The first hit is the snickerdoodle.
Yeah. It goes. I mean, this
Yeah.
is. Yeah, let's go.
If you like wheated bourbons, don't skip this one.
Cock of the walk.
It's so good. You threw that down.
This kicks Weller Reserves, and I realize they're both made by the same people. To me, there is no competition between this and Weller Reserve.
Now, he's being specific. Well, Weller Special Reserve.
Yes.
Not necessarily. You know what we have to do now that we have a bottle? We have to do an episode comparing this with Weller 12.
Agreed. But
Anyway.
But what it's better than Maker's Mark to me. The smell, the nose matches the taste. In the front, it's a snickerdoodle. You breathe out a nutter butter.
Yeah. It's one of the best wheated that we have tasted. I think you could give that to almost anyone, and they're not going to dislike it.
As long as they're a fan, as long as they're not a teetotaler.
Right. And unless they look at you and they say, I only want 70% rye. Other than that,
Yeah, I mean
it's enjoyable.
there is not a hint of mint in there anywhere.
No.
It is.
It is butterscotch candy. It's a Werther's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
With a little bit of peanut at the end.
Yeah.
What are you gonna rank it?
It's cock of the walk.
Yeah, and it's not as look. It doesn't have like the complexity of a stag. It does not have the complexity of some
No.
others that we've rated that.
It's rated that for a different reason for me.
It just tastes good.
It just hits.
Yeah.
It's just one of those that you're like, yeah, I'm enjoying every sip of this. And I don't have to think too hard.
No.
I sip it and I enjoy it. And I'm happy.
And it's a I don't have to be by the fire bourbon. It's
Right.
I
I don't have to be in a certain context, in a certain setting. I don't have to build up to it.
And as I shared in that episode, you said this would be a great one that if you're introducing. No, I'm not introducing anyone to bourbon with this. The way I have to fight to get this, no.
If you're one of our friends, we don't have this.
No. Steve, if you want some, yeah. Aaron, if you want some, yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Damien. But you know he's got some.
Bing, ding, ding. Damien has a crate of this.
Probably.
Damien probably has like all the sweet wheat in North Carolina. So we need to thank Steve for this. This
Yeah.
comes out of Steve's collection. Steve is an awesome patron. We couldn't do some of these shows without Steve.
No.
Steve has graciously opened his collection to us and has been so supportive.
So supportive. Honestly.
And really wants no recognition for that. He's not pimping a business. I mean,
no.
He's just
a genuinely nice person.
He is. And he's involved in some
he's retired,
yeah.
so he's involved in some bourbon groups, and he approaches bourbon. I'm going to take liberties with this. I think he approaches bourbon kind of like B and I do. It's about community, and building friendships and relationships. And again, it's sharing.
Yeah.
You know, for us, bourbon is not about hoarding.
No,
it is, and like
except the Sweet Wheat.
B's gonna hoard the Sweet Wheat, and his Russell's 15. There's a threshold to every's generosity.
But the rest of it's wide open.
The rest of it's wide open. In fact, we have enough Eagle Rare for a party. Let's go.
Yeah. Wow.
But anyway, we are so appreciative.
Yeah.
So what are we appreciative for, B, on today's particular episode?
Today we're appreciative for a 12-year 1792.
Guess what, guys? Spoiler alert, it's aged 12 years.
But
it says it on the back. Aged 12 years and on the front. It's bottled at 96.6 proof, and the MSRP on this one is $100 to $120.
Good luck.
And good luck finding it.
Yeah, I mean...
Ever. Supposedly, because we haven't had this one yet, we're supposed to get rich caramel, toasted oak, and dark fruit on the nose with toffee, vanilla, and a deep aged oak on the palate, which just comes from that extra aging. We are taking... this is not a political... We're taking either a left turn or a right turn. We're taking a turn from where we just were. Mm-hmm. It's just... This is an angle. This should be... This is a sharp curve.
It is a sharp curve. But I'm excited.
In fact, I'm going to drink some water.
Yep. And it does have a darker profile. One thing we've not mentioned about 1792, we've mentioned the packaging. The only way you tell the difference in the different offerings is the tiny label and then the color of the band up here. Everything else is the same.
It's very consistent. Yep. Also, I thought, this is where I thought you were going. They all do have a rich, pretty color.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
The Barton Distillery acquisition was chef's kiss because it is not the same profile as the Buffalo Trace products.
No, it's very different.
And now whether they're using the same mash bills or whatever, okay, but there's a different it's a different taste.
And
profile.
for as much as we joke on the whole Sazerac thing, they have made some very smart acquisitions.
Oh, I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
You know you're top of your game if people like us running YouTube channels are talking talking smack.
We're sitting in my converted office in front of a fake brick wall talking smack about a multi-billion-dollar corporation. Give me a break.
Well, you can recognize the game while still having valid criticisms.
Yeah, but I would like to state again, they're Sazerac and we're...
Not.
We are the equivalent of, before we taste this, we are Wayne's World. We are...
I knew you were going there.
We're Wayne's World. We're on public access television. I mean, we're Wayne's World.
Anyway.
Which is probably why I wanted to do this show, because I grew up idolizing an SNL skit. And it was... The premise of it was fantastic.
You know, your reference is timely, because we just had SNL's 50th anniversary.
But the premise of that... Guys who love music, who want to do a TV show that discuss music that they think kicks butt. That's really, that's public
B's
access.
Dream, honestly.
Yeah.
This is just a side stop to his eventual music show. All right, so the smell's very different than the Sweet Wheat.
I was about just to taste it. Yeah, it is. So on the nose, there's dark fruit. There's oak.
Definitely oak.
Little
caramel.
The dark fruit is kind of this wave at the end. Mm-hmm. We are getting more and more pretentious. I'm so sorry. We got to get back to drinking.
We got to grab some Kentucky Gentleman.
Just bang it out. That's right. But on the nose, this is going to be solid, right? The nose tell you it's going to be solid, and I'm not going to be disappointed.
I think you're going to like it. It's a lower proof than a lot of 12 years. The end finish is very pleasant. It's very caramel forward, in my opinion. There you go. There it is.
Ooh.
Finish is really good.
It hangs in these back molars. It hangs in those back molars.
But not my wisdom teeth, because I had those removed.
My wisdom teeth are still up in there.
That's explains some things. I don't
Still
know
got
what
my
that
wisdom.
meant.
That is phenomenally good.
It's very good. It does. Do you see what I mean, though? It usually, aged that long, hits a little harder.
Steve, I want you to take notice that we're not going to drink any more of it. We did our
Should
pours.
we put a Sharpie line right
We
there?
did our pours. We're returning it.
However, if you come across a lead on another bottle that you don't want for yourself, we'd love to purchase it. That's tasty.
That's good bourbon.
That's really solid. That hits all the notes you want bourbon to hit. A little sweet, little bit of heat, long finish.
It doesn't dry out too soon. And when it does, there's the oak, there's that, it's not exactly peanut, but it has that caramel hold to it.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
And I don't know why I'm connecting caramel and nuts, but there is a little crossover there in taste.
Yeah.
For me.
But it's the richer, darker caramel.
Yeah. Okay.
We've talked about that before.
Yeah,
That almost
yeah.
it gets to the point that it has a little bit of a nutty flavor. Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. When you do the sugar, so that is a solid bourbon. Now what I really like about that is it does not. I like Stag for the complexity, right? I mean, Stag is like, I mean, it's
Stag is like what?
yeah, I just did it again for you. Stag is one of Patton Sherman tanks going through
Right.
Germany. All right, it is.
It is gonna blaze through.
Yeah,
anything in its path be damned.
yeah, it is, and it is complex, and if you're not ready for
it's a high proof point.
you need to swirl it. You need to be ready for it. It should not be your first taste. They give complexity. It's like 96 proof, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
This is fantastic.
It's delicious.
I normally don't find this type of flavor profile in anything under 100 proof.
Right. And
Ever.
I typically also don't find this approachability in something aged this long. Like normally for more casual bourbon drinkers, I don't recommend your aged super long or your super high proof. This is like that perfect little middle ground. If you can find it. Good luck.
I understand why it's harder to find because it's a 12-year. Mm-hmm. I don't understand with the popularity of Sweet Wheat why it's harder to find. I have heard recently that wheated need to stay. I don't know if this is true. I've heard from several distillers in interviews that they say that wheated bourbons have to stay in the barrel a little longer. Mm. And they explain the complexity of that with the wheat.
Something different of like breaking down?
Something with the wheat versus the rye. I'm not I'm literally I'm parroting that, right? I'm not trying to say I know anything. But what I'm saying is I understand why this is a little more rare. Mm-hmm. Being it's 12 years.
Yeah, it's 12 years.
I don't understand why the sweet, and I understand why the single barrel is a little rare because
put the sweet wheat on the shelves.
But
please.
put the sweet wheat on the shelves. But this is really good.
This is delicious. And while you were sitting there talking, I was using it as an opportunity to really savor that finish.
I talk a lot, so you get to do that.
I really got to savor, and that finish is just on point. Like, I love that finish.
This is cock of the walk.
That's cock of the walk. Absolutely. That's delicious. It was all delicious, but those last two were, and I don't know if it's just because these are fresh in my mind, but I think those are my two favorite of the whole 1792 lineup.
The full proof is really good.
It was, but those two just hit right. And you can disagree. Your favorites can be different.
I don't know that I disagree. The full proof is different. All right, the full proof is, and we did not rate it cock of the walk. We rated it Hush Your Mouth because we wanted to drink it with other full proofs.
Yes, and that's fair.
All right, I think this stands on its own. That's my favorite.
That's your favorite.
Oh yeah,
easily, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, and I understand that too because your sweet wheat is almost in its own little category because it's a wheated.
The sweet wheat is a snickerdoodle.
Right.
The sweet wheat is like, am I going to get a Coke in a bottle or am I going to have 1792 Sweet Wheat. I mean, am I going to get the Mexican Coke with the good cane sugar versus our supplemented corn syrup? Or am I going to grab the Sweet Wheat? I mean, really, I mean, that's what it is. It is. But
the point.
It's kid in a candy store.
It's its own kind of thing. Yeah, it's a treat. It's a treat.
This is bourbon.
Yeah.
This is someone comes over from Scotland with their Glenfiddich,
and you're
like, sit down.
We're gonna
sit
have
down
an
in your
introduction,
leather chair,
and then we're gonna start there, and then we're gonna give them Stag.
Yeah,
and then they're gonna convert from Scotch.
That's right.
And we've done our duty as Americans.
We don't believe in the peat.
Don't tread on me.
That's right. That's what we are. America.
So to sum it up, if I had to bring one with me to circle all the way back, if I had to bring one with me on a deserted island,
you're bringing the age 12.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's got that. It's bourbon, but done extremely well. What about you? Same?
Oh yeah. I mean the 12 years is phenomenal. I mean, if I want to relive my childhood of eating snickerdoodles, I need to go to the Sweet Wheat. Mm-hmm. But if I want to be a man and sit in my leather chair with many leather-bound books,
my God,
my glass,
swirling it.
Okay.
The Sweet Wheat would be perfect after a several-course meal in place of like where you would put in like a port or a sherry. The Sweet Wheat would be a perfect pour in that circumstance. Why are you looking at me that way?
Or just come home from work, and if you have a line and have several bottles, just pour that and be done with it.
That's true. But the point being is that that would be a lovely context for that. But this one I would pour anytime, any day.
So before we go well past our 35-minute mark, it's cock of the walk, right?
Yeah, 100%.
It is what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a chance to go on a date with Brad Pitt.
He's getting a little old. I'd still go.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It's not like, well, on a Tuesday, I'll go out with me. And on a Friday, I'll go out with Brad Pitt. No, if you have a chance, you're going out with Brad Pitt every time. So it's about availability. It's really about availability, right?
I was wondering where you were going to land that plane.
But the plane landed. The plane landed perfectly.
It was a really great landing.
I'm like Sully. I mean, I put it right in there, right?
Right in the Hudson River.
Right in the Hudson River. So the point is that it's Brad Pitt. I mean, you can sit here and talk about this would be great after a nice dinner. It's going to be great on its own. It's great after a nice dinner. It's great after watching the Masters. It's great after watching that trash can one that's sponsored out in Tucson. It doesn't matter.
The waste management.
Yeah, that one. It doesn't matter. It's cock of the walk.
It is.
When Michael Jordan walks into the gym to play basketball, he's Michael Jordan. It doesn't matter if he walks into your local gym or if he's on the Chicago Bulls or if he's trying to screw up the Charlotte Hornets. It doesn't seem to matter. He's still Michael Jordan. It's Michael Jordan, right? When your game recognizes game. When LeBron James steps in the gym, LeBron James steps in the gym. That's it. When Tiger Woods tees off, he's Tiger Woods. I don't care how many accidents he's been. He's still Tiger Woods.
He's still Tiger
Woods. That's
it.
And that's where we come to. I mean, when you're the best around, you're the best around. We just did Cobra Kai right there. That's a song from the original Karate Kid. I did that. So with that being said, I don't have any bourbon.
We're going to
you
share
need
that
to take
one.
this. We'll share this.
Okay, all right.
All right, you ready?
So, to summarize, Michael Jordan, done.
LeBron James, Michael Jordan,
Done.
Tiger Woods. There it is.
Hold on. Simone Biles, Caitlin Clark. We got to get some females in here.
Whoa. Serena Williams.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I know. I know you got it. I know you got it.
Oh, look.
I just had to throw it in.
I want to be very clear. One of the most amazing things, and I'm not editing this. You know, I used to be a golf fiend.
Mm-hmm.
So I followed Annika on the Sunday that she won at Southern Pine Needles. There is not a purer swing. And you could have a really good argument. Mm-hmm. We could get some data out. Annika Sorenstam was more dominant than Tiger Woods in her day, in her field. Mm-hmm. And no, so you've got...
Yeah.
Look, even Lorena, good Lord, she was. There's been some amazing female athletes.
Oh yeah, and I know B knows that. I just had to make sure we.
I know you do, but that's what it comes down to. I mean, when you're
best of the best, when you are GOAT status, you're GOAT status.
When you're it, you're it.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. You are. When you're it, you're it.
Yeah.
And until next time.
Cheers, y'all.
All right, I'm gonna share.